This is Dee with the CSI Project, and you are listening to the podcast of the CSI Confidential, and I am with Lisa. She has a blog called More Minutes. It's actually moreminutes.com, and you can find her there where she blogs about her daily life, about being a mom, being a housewife, and of course she blogs about the parties that she plans. And that is why I thought she would be perfect for this week. We were talking about outdoor decorating for the summer, but also outdoor parties and how to plan those. And she has a lot of great tips, a lot of great ideas. But first, I want to introduce her to all of you and, of course, let her tell you about herself and her blog.
Well, hi Dee. I'm actually super excited to be here, so thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm just ready to get started and have a good chat.
So tell us about why you started blogging and your blogging journey, how long you've been blogging, and how has it grown, and of course, if you have any goals that you are trying to pursue as well.
Okay. Well, I started blogging just a few years ago. I actually had a friend of mine tell me that I should start a blog, and I had no interest in it. I didn't even like the name blog. It just had no appeal to me. So thank goodness she was extra persistent and just kept encouraging me to try, because I finally surrendered and started blogging, and I was just instantly captivated. I loved it. And since then, my husband has always been definitely my biggest fan. He's super excited about my blogging ventures, and he is the one now that continues to encourage me to keep blogging and to pursue this passion, which is with social networking as far as goals go. I'm just excited. I guess that comes back to my life mission statement. I have a mission statement, and it has always been to inspire and to be inspired. So I love inspiring people, and I love to be inspired. And blogging just seems to package all of that together so perfectly. So I feel really blessed and excited that we live in a time where we could have a voice and be able to share with people, and also to get all these new ideas. So I'm loving that, and I actually just opened a Facebook page for my blog. I'm a very slow starter, so I'm behind the curve on all of that, but I'm excited to get more involved with the social networking aspect of it as well.
And, of course, the blog is More Minutes, but housewife redefined. So in today's modern society, how do you define a housewife?
Ooh, that's a good question. I find it really exciting that with new things coming up in the social network world, like Pinterest and blogs, one of the things that's really gone crazy is just housewives are coming back out, and it's just a big trend, again, to make your life beautiful, to make your home beautiful. I think Pinterest has really encouraged that as well. So it's kind of just taken the boring housewife out of the dark and redefining it, saying that we can have a beautiful purpose, whether we're a housewife that works or a housewife that stays home. Just being a wife and making a home your own home sweet home, and there's so many beautiful ways to do that. And so I'm excited to see that it's just a big trend right now to make life beautiful that way, because that's definitely a passion of mine as well. That's basically, More Minutes, that is my blog. That's More, Moore, because that's my last name. So More Minutes, and I guess the meaning behind that name is just trying to say, live more of our minutes with passion and living with intention. So I blog about everyday life and making all that everyday life beautiful. And I guess my personality is I've just always been one to love deeply and feel deeply and live deeply. So that makes me passionate about just the beautiful details. So, and I'm a lover of all the seasons, and that's where I find my happiness is in those details. So it's really exciting to me to be able to experience it all together as women, just ways that we can use our gifts to make every moment and every minute worth living.
Right, and that being a housewife doesn't mean that we live boring lives. I think sometimes people think that we do.
Right.
But it means that we live out our passions, and that is why you are perfect for the CSI project, because that is the goal of the CSI project, to always create something inspiring and to share it. And that is what we do every day at the CSI project. And I know in every day you try to create a beautiful life, but you also do that through the occasions of your life. And obviously with your kids there's going to be lots of birthday parties, but I also saw a birthday party for your dad. And so I think it's really fun that you love to entertain, no matter who it is. There's those occasions in your life, they come up all the time, and it's what makes life fun and exciting. And so you create a lot of parties, and of course I love the themes of the parties. I love that the themes of your parties are just everyday things. Like I saw a party that was called a color dinner party for your kids, where the theme is color, and I love that. That is something that we have every day, but that's a detail that not a lot of us think of, and I love that you designed a party around that. But then also your party, your ice cream party, is perfect for the season that it was for, but also a perfect theme for children and summertime. And so I think the details are really in your parties, and I love that. So I want you to talk about how you come up with the ideas for your parties and the themes.
Okay.
And what makes you come up with those things?
Well, I guess it kind of goes back to the details, and that is where my passion is. But I think it's all about celebrating the simple moments and celebrating the things in life, like you mentioned, a color party. Color is something that we all benefit from and get enjoyment out of, but it just a lot of time goes unnoticed. We take for granted so many of these blessings that we have. So if you can just gather up the blessings that you enjoy and in your mind and think about them and then come up with ways to celebrate them, that's basically what I do. So whether it was like what you talked about, lighting up the dark, it was summer, and one of the passions that I think about that I'm thankful for in the summer is those really long nights that are warm and kind of playful and free-spirited. And so that's where my mind starts, and then from there you take it on what's a great way to celebrate long summer nights. And that's where the glow in the dark, light up the dark party theme kind of originated from, was just like that thought. And then as far as color party, anything like that, you just take things in your mind that you're grateful for and that you want to celebrate and just run with it. So, and I know, you're talking about the outdoor parties right now, and so I just wanted to touch quickly on the light up the dark party. There's a couple things you can do that just really adds a lot of fun energy to the already fun late summer nights, and you can see that on the blog post, and then many of the listeners maybe have already heard of this. They're Japanese lanterns. Some people call them wish lanterns. It has a lot of magic and mystery to the night. You glow up these like giant-sized lanterns, and they have a flame underneath. You make a wish, and you send them up into the sky, and it's just super fun. It's very exciting. And then to add to that glow-in-the-dark idea, we make glow-in-the-dark bottles. You break glow sticks into bottles and swirl them around with some oil or water, and they light up the dark as well. And there's glow-in-the-dark things are really popular right now, so it's easy to find. You can go to your store and find all sorts of things. We got glow-in-the-dark balloons or nail polish. It's just they're really fun. It's a fun way to celebrate summer.
Yeah, and the outdoor or the light up, the neon colors are really popular right now.
Yeah,
For
they are.
for some reason, but
For some reason, we don't know.
for some reason because it just reminds me of the 80s. But I realize that these kids today don't know that. So when I see it, I think, oh my, I've already done that, and I kind of regret it. But the kids nowadays, they see it and think it's a new thing. But with your
Right.
Light Up the Dark party, those bottles are just really neon, and all the lighting is very neon, which is very popular right now. So you could even incorporate a neon theme party.
Right.
Would be
That's a great
very
idea.
in right now. And of course, I loved your camp out party, which was actually a real camp out with 200 mosquito bites or something.
That makes it legit. That was
Yeah.
real. When
When
get
you have
200
mosquito bites, you're legitimately a camp out. And I love that, though. I love that you did this for your little boy and just a few of his friends. I love that you kept it simple and only inviting a few friends because you actually
Right.
went on. I mean, it's a real camp out.
The real camp out.
But it was so boy, and that's what I love about it. It was so boy. Everything was just all about the boys, but at the same time with a cute twist on it that they may not appreciate, but we do as crafters. But I loved the tents and all the details. So we're going to have, of course, your blog. As people are hearing this, they see your blog. So I will tell everybody, if you go to her blog, you can look up the classic boy camp out party so they know what we're talking about. But I love all the details. And what I really love is even down to the drinks. It was like a bug juice.
Right.
Even down to the drinks, you have details. So talk about the details and talk about that those are really the things that stand out. I mean, they may be small details, but they're big impact.
They are. The details are things that are typically the most overlooked, yet they make the biggest difference in a party. So, or with entertaining in general. With entertaining in general, if you go to a restaurant and you're served a meal, they're not going to bring you a bag of hot dog buns where you just take the bun out of the bag. They're going to make it a beautiful presentation, something we could experience with all of our senses. And what we see is definitely adds a lot of quality to our life. So just in little details like that, if you're entertaining and you're outside, it takes just like 2 seconds or 2 minutes to take the hot dog buns out of the bag and put them in a Superfund basket. Pour your chips into a bucket, like, a galvanized pail. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't take that long, and it's pretty simple, and it's just some of those little details that would otherwise go unnoticed that you could make a beautiful presentation that way. You're talking about the camping thing and how we went to the details, like even down to the drinks, and that's just what you'll do if you find a theme that you want to focus on, and then go through every aspect of the party. You could make every part tie in to that theme. So even down to the serving pieces that you use, if you want to take it there, it definitely makes a big difference. So.
Yeah, and I see you even use burlap for the table. Is that burlap?
Burlap. Yes,
yeah.
Burlap.
And see, that's a detail, too, that kind of ties into the whole camping, rustic thing. Even burlap ties into that, and that's so perfect that you would use that to go along with it.
It's good that you mentioned that. Yeah, I think it's good that you mentioned that because that is something that a lot of times people will put, you can put a lot of effort into making like something really pretty and fun, and then if you just set it on a card table or set it on something, it doesn't tie together quite the way you want it to because you have to think of the full picture. So put the tablecloth on, or in this case, the burlap, whatever, bandanas, if you're doing a cowboy thing, whatever you're doing, just if you complete the full circle with those details, then the entire presentation comes together just really, really beautifully. So.
Yes, it does. And I like, as far as your, when you're planning parties, do you find people to make your printables, like for cupcake toppers or your banners, or do you like to create those yourself?
I do a mix of both. A lot depends on my mood, actually, but a lot of times on this particular party that we're talking about, I had those made. I was just so happy with them by Peas and Thank You Company, and they do an amazing job. Etsy's like my very best friend for party stuff. I refer to Etsy and the Etsy stores all the time. I find I love the handmade look about everything. I'm not really into the commercialized look, and so anytime I could order products from Etsy, and everything looks so handmade, and that ties back to just the classic. I love classic, traditional type of atmosphere, I guess. And so Etsy offers a lot of party things you can do there. So yes, I do order some of my things there. I also make some of them too. It's just a mix, and it also depends on the party. But for anybody, any of this stuff could be made by them, or if they prefer, there's always Etsy. It just depends on how much time they want to dedicate to it, and what their passion is as well, if they want to craft it or order it already crafted. So.
Right, and that's the good thing about Etsy is we can, it's good to utilize our local shops and stuff, but it's also good, Etsy provides us a way to support those crafters that are making things that they love to make, and I really like supporting Etsy and the shops much better than, a store that maybe not have.
And it's prettier.
Yeah, they don't have what I want, if I have a theme, it may not fit, and they don't have what I want, so I have to do it myself, or luckily there is Etsy, and we can go on there and find things, but I didn't know if you made your printables yourself, or...
I have before. For that party, I did not, but I have made them myself too before. It just depends on the party. So.
Right. And for outdoor parties, obviously, what's your biggest, when you plan an outdoor party, what is the one thing you make sure happens? Is it food? Is it decor or lighting? Or what's the one thing that you really make sure gets done?
With outdoor entertaining specifically, I think something that's really important is making sure the guests are comfortable in the outdoor environment. So there's a couple things, and these are more practical aspects, but if you're having a summertime outdoor party for the comfort of your guests, misters are a great thing just to have set up in advance, and you can buy them. I know Walmart sells those Mister stand-up fans, and they mist, and they're really convenient, and they actually do a really nice job. Or if you're having a party in the winter, like a sledding party, anything like that, the fire pits. If you do a fire pit, it actually adds to the decor too, and it really adds to the whole atmosphere. So just making sure that the guests are comfortable that way. Also, if you have a winter party with fire pits, you can probably add, a bucket with mittens for your guests to have, or a big basket with rolled-up blankets for people to use. All of this, visually, looking at it, is beautiful as well, and it really adds to the atmosphere. But it also serves a purpose for your guest comfort. And moving back to the summer entertaining, which we're focusing on, in addition to the misters, what I've done before in the 4th of July barbecue that I posted about last year, and I've done this several times since then, I have a bucket. It's just a bucket of sunscreen and bug spray, flashlights, sunglasses, anything like that, like for your guests to use. And just if you have it out there, it's just these little bucket stations that make it convenient for people to stay safe and comfortable in the sun. So definitely the bug spray and definitely the sunscreen, bottles of water, everything like that just for their comfort. So those are some things that I like to ensure are there, and putting it all in a little basket like that, or a bucket, is just an easy way to, convenient way to accomplish that as well. The other thing that I feel is really important for outdoor parties is lighting. I think lighting just could completely create the atmosphere that you want. And lighting options for outdoor parties in the summer are limitless. There's just so many. We just talked about the light up the dark party, where we're making like light out of neon glow sticks. You can get creative that way, or you can just do the hanging little lantern lights. There's the tiki torches. There's so many options for lighting, but I don't know. That makes a huge difference in having a fun party outdoors.
Yes, it does.
I think, yeah, it really does. As far as my favorite thing would be the styling, which is the decor and the food, and that's my favorite. And there's just a lot of little things people can do for that. I don't know if people have seen, use a big red wagon to put all your ice and your drinks in. I've also made little drink coolers before that are super cute for picnics. You get tiny galvanized buckets and fill them with ice, and then put everyone's bottle of root beer or bottle of soda pop in it, and everyone gets their individual ways to keep their drink bottles cold, and it looks super cute too. So little details like that are fun.
Yeah, I do think if you can dress up, that's when I plan a party. I think food is my favorite, and the decor, because you can get so creative. Even with food, you can get so creative, and I love to provide just a whole different types of food that maybe people don't get in their daily lives. And that's part of partying, is to do something we don't normally get every day of our lives. And next week, our challenge is frozen treats and push-up pops. And push-up pops is something that I've used in parties recently. They're really big right now. And I've used them in parties because they're new, but they're also very easy to do. And your guests just love it. That's a little detail that your guests just absolutely love. And I like that. I like that we can do different things like that instead of just a regular birthday cake or just regular cupcakes. We can kind of find different ways to give out food, and it looks different. It's packaged differently, all that sort of things. That's what made your camp-out party so great, is you did the s'more bar. That's incorporating food, but in a very fun way. And
right.
Obviously, that's a good idea too.
Well, you made a really smart point when you said, when you talked about how when we do celebrations and events and occasions that we're getting something that we won't usually have, that it's different. And we live a lot of, all of us, normal, mundane lives that it's just repetitive every day. And so when you have a chance to do celebrations like this, you're absolutely right. It's an opportunity for us to give an experience to our family and our friends that we don't have every day. And that's what makes it extra special too. So you really made a good point with that.
Yeah, it does. I think that's why parties are successful. And I think looking at your parties and looking at the camp party in particular, I think that's what made that party so special, is you don't get those things every day. The boys that came to that party, they don't get those things every day. The fun food, the way you set it up, but also being in the atmosphere that they were in, that added to the party. It's something they will not forget. And then the activities that you did, it engaged all of their senses. It engaged everything that we typically don't get to do. And I think that's what made that party so successful. And when you're entertaining, when we just have to face it, when we're entertaining children, and we want to, and especially on a camp out, you want to entertain them constantly. There's probably not a time that you weren't okay, I got to entertain these boys because they're boys. And keeping up with the boys is a entirely different thing. And so coming up with ideas, but also also letting them have their fun too. I think is with children's parties. I think that's something we have to keep in mind. We may have a lot of activities planned, but we also need to keep in mind that they just want to play and see each other. So
right, I agree with
I think
that.
that's a good idea.
And let them enjoy the moment. Actually, sometimes you take things back to the simplicity of it. Whether it's making a boat out of driftwood and floating out on the lake. That's just a simple moment that is timeless. It's been experienced timeless times through generations, and just taking a moment to quiet ourselves and let us enjoy those moments. Kids really thrive in those situations too. So you're right, it's fun to keep them busy with activities, and a lot of our kids have short attention spans sometimes, but also if you could put them in environments where they could just enjoy timeless activities that we've all experienced through generations, you'll just see their spirits come alive, and it's just a beautiful time to be reflective, and brings us back just to some more of those simple moments, and those are really fun too. And that's something I really hold close to my heart, is trying to show my kids classic things that have just been enjoyed through generations.
Right. That the classic things that we remember as kids, and taking it to another generation. And
right.
And that's another reason why this camp out party is so great, is because they weren't around the video games. They weren't around the TV. They were in the simplistic kind of atmosphere, where they weren't distracted by those things. And I think, well, first of all, it's very brave of you to do it. I mean,
very brave to take boys out in the woods.
It is very brave. It is very very brave. You get extra points for being so brave, but because I know how the boys are. But I think it brings them back to simplicity, and I think it brought them back to just kind of that nostalgic American way. And they will go on camping trips probably all their lives, but I think this one will really stand out in their minds because you took the time to do those details that they're going to remember. And they'll probably go on camp outs and be like, oh, this one's not near as much fun as the one I went on. But at the same time, you also got to let their imaginations go wild.
Right.
And also teach them. You probably were able to have teaching moments where you're teaching them how to even survive out in the wild.
Right.
But also in a very cute way. And they were able to explore their imaginations. And I think that's what made this party so great. And despite bugs, mosquitoes, heat, whatever it is, despite all of that, I think your goals for the party, I think they were very successful. And of course, providing your son a great party that he will always enjoy, and I'm sure he still talks about it. And it's different. We can go on camping trips with our families all the time, but when we get to go with our friends, that's pretty cool.
Right.
For a kid.
Adds a level of excitement, for sure.
Yeah, and of course you did it all in the beautiful state of Colorado, which some of us don't get to do that. So for some of us, it's very jealous that you get to have that in your backyard, and you could just take the boys on a trip like that. I think that's very great. And so as far as party planning, you blog about your children's parties, but you also blog about adult parties. Don't you think, though, that in our recent society and crafting, don't you think that the kids' parties and the adult parties, sometimes we don't really have to differentiate a lot. Sometimes they're in today's society. Now, maybe back in the day when we were, I'm going to go back to the 80s, and back in the day when we were doing, parties at McDonald's, well, that was very kid.
Right.
That was a very, only kids could do that. But I think nowadays we tend to have parties even for children that are very much for adults.
Yeah,
So,
they're very interchangeable.
yeah, they could be. So what do you think is the biggest difference as far as doing it for children but also doing it for adults? What can we do if, to make it kind of the same?
You're asking what could we do with both kid and adult parties to make
Yeah, but like the
same?
common theme, I think maybe a common theme would be what we talked about in the details.
Oh, for sure, certainly. Yes, keeping the details there, but you're right. Today you could they're very interchangeable. So your food presentation, you could do the same. You could do beautiful food presentation for adults and kids. I think the biggest difference in the two is if I'm doing a kids party, I really focus more on the experience more than the presentation, although in my mind both are equally as important, but the experience is really important, that the kids have an experience to remember. So it's more than just a party. It's more than just a beautiful dessert table. It's them actively being involved. I like to think of it as them being like, just totally brought to a whole nother world, just kind of a magic, just like a magical time. And it's all encompassed in just one big experience. So kids, they really like having the experience, but adults do too. It was just, we wouldn't have as many magical moments and just focus more on more of the presentation and socializing. So
yeah, I think that is the difference. I think a lot of themes though can be for, like, even this camp out. Wouldn't that be great for adults? I think we can just interchange it. And so party planning really has become, well, first of all, it's become very, very popular to do. And we have so many resources at our fingertips, whether it's Etsy or just another blogger who has done something and shared it. We live in a world where we have it at our fingertips, and that's what makes it so great. And if you have a theme in mind, you can easily go to your computer and just find like 2 or 3 blogs who have done it before and giving you lots of ideas.
It's such a huge benefit to today. I have had a passion for planning parties since I was just like very little. I remember being just a little girl trying to help my mom plan others' parties and planning parties for my cats. I mean, I threw birthday parties for my cats, and that's crazy. But I've just always loved throwing parties, and so as soon as I had my own kids, I was doing it. And then it just really works out beautifully. Wow, when I grew up, there's like all these resources. It's so much easier now to plan parties than it used to be, for sure. Especially with Pinterest, the newest website out there that's so popular. But so for anyone that wants to have any interest in planning parties, your resources online are limitless. And that's really exciting, too, because once you start finding inspiration, it energizes you, and you could just feed off of it and run with it and take it in your own direction. You don't have to find something and copy it. You could find something and use it as a jumping board, a springboard. Come up with your own ideas, too.
Right. And I think that's what's so great. I know that a lot of people are going to be pinning your parties now. And they're going to, of course, they can see your website on this. They're going to be able to see your website and see the link. And I know that they're going to be going and they're going to be pinning like crazy, trying to remember, and making it their own, but taking some of your ideas and making it their own. Especially the camp out party, I think people are just going to go crazy over that and figure out how they can incorporate these ideas into their own life. But we definitely encourage people to go over to More Minutes and check out all of her parties, but also her everyday posts about everyday life and just enjoying your everyday life and being that housewife redefined. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at, you can definitely find inspiration here and learn more about her and her family and all of her good ideas. And I'm sure you would encourage people to email you if they have questions or contact you through your blog. And, of course, find you on Facebook, and you can always ask questions about her parties or just about anything in general. Where she goes, what Etsy shop, anything like that. I'm sure you would be willing to answer and direct. And that's the fun thing about having a blog, as we connect with so many people. And we have the opportunity to connect with people, whether you're in Colorado, whether you're in Arizona like me, or wherever you're at, you're able to connect and you're able to talk about the things that we're passionate about, which is throwing these great parties and sharing our ideas. And that's what the CSI project is about, of course, is we love for people to see people like you that are featured on the CSI project, and then we introduce you to so many new people, and also, through the blog and through everything that we have, you're being introduced and they're being introduced to you, and we're all sharing, and that's what it's about. And that's how we like to spend our daily lives, is sharing and creating. So always, always, always create something inspiring and do what you do best. Share it with everybody, and I know that that will bless your life, and you will make connections that you never thought were possible. So this week on the CSI project, you can find, we are talking about outdoor parties. We are talking about outdoor decorating. We had a tutorial on how to decorate your porch, which is a great thing to do for your curb appeal. And I love to decorate my porch, change it up all the time, depending on the season. But today we also have a little party for a little girl. It was a mermaid party, beautiful, all done outdoors, and I think that's wonderful. So stick with us this week, and you will see many different party ideas. And of course, you will see our challenge link up. So come and link up all of your great ideas, and also come and be inspired by other people linking up. And then, of course, we will have our guest judge. She will be making the hard pick. And she will, and it really is a hard pick. Every week, I do not admire these judges. They have a hard decision to make. And I'm really glad that I only have to make one pick. But come on by. She'll be visiting all your blogs, and she will be making her picks. And you might just get chosen, and you might just get featured. So stick with us. And, of course, we thank Lisa for stopping by, and for talking, and for sharing her party ideas, for more party inspiration, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot more parties. I'm sure you're not done with the party days. Your boys are still growing up, so many, many more parties to go. And it doesn't matter how old they get. It doesn't matter.
Right.
We can still do it, and we may get, we may get a little bit of the eye rolling, oh mom, but you know what? It's okay, because we love them, and we just want them to have great birthdays, and one day they will appreciate it. If they don't say that now, they will one day. And then plus, the memories that they make, the memories that they take with them, they will always remember those, and will go with them the rest of their lives, and when they have their own children. So don't give up.
I agree. It's all the memories that way. It's just capturing those moments and making them memories that makes everything worth it. And thank you so much, Dee, for having me today. I was super excited about this, and your CSI blog is actually just so inspiring to me. I love how creative and out of the box that your entire concept is, because of how interactive it is, and it's exciting for me to be inspired that way as well. So thank you. It's just been a huge blessing, and I'm really happy about it.
Well, of course, we love having you. And one day I want to get you in that guest judge spot. And so you can make those hard choices. And you know what? We'll pick a challenge that you'll be perfect for. But I have a feeling that no matter what challenge it is, you're going to be perfect for it. And I would love to get you in that spot, and you can make your decisions and have fun with it, because it really is a lot of fun to be the guest judge. It really is.
I look forward to that.
It's very interesting. It's fun. You get to visit all these new blogs. It is a lot of fun. And, of course, we have a lot of great crafters that link up every week. And so I am so appreciative of the followers and the bloggers that link up, because they truly do inspire me every day. And that is one reason why I love the CSI project. It is my baby. I take care of it, and I just absolutely love it. And I love that I can feature all of you, you great crafters and creative minds and people that just amaze me. So of course we love having you, and we're going to get you in that guest judge spot. So everyone look forward to that, because she will be on that spot, and we will make it hard for her. It's part of it. We're going to make it hard.
That's good.
Yeah, but you'll have more fun that way. So everybody be sure to go visit More Minutes. It's moreminutes.com. I love that it's .com. That makes it easy. And you can see all of her everyday projects, all of her everyday inspiration, her everyday life with her family, and loving those boys and taking care of them. And we, of course, will see you again. And for all of you, stick with us all week. And we will, and of course, have a great 4th of July and celebration with your families, and make it a good one, and make it inspirational. And we will see you soon back here at the CSI Project.